would you like to begin with the initial round? Today I have a very good question that I learned from other calls in TEC. I think that intentions and distractions is quite lame, I guess. But the new question is, what are you grateful for today? And we can begin. For example, me, I am grateful because I have electricity. Finally, and this is something that you cannot have for granted. Electricity and good internet connection. Who would like to go next?
I can go next. I'm just grateful for everything in general, like good health, and like as you said, we have a roof under our head, electricity, everything, and loving people around me. So yeah, I'm grateful about that. Should I pass it over to someone?
Yeah.
I'll give it to Zeptimus.
Yeah, I'm grateful because today I was with a lot of friends on the calisthenics park. Like usually we are not that much, but today it was crazy. A lot of friends coming there and we hung out a lot. We actually did like 2 hours and a half of sport, so it was crazy.
Wow.
And also in the calisthenics park there is people like they are dancing on the bar and I was looking at them and wow, that's so cool. And I'll pass it over Tonga.
Hello, I am grateful for my 2 dogs. I got a new puppy 3 days ago, and yeah, I love to see them play every day. So I'm really grateful. They make me really happy.
So lovely.
Yeah, I pass it to Fiora.
Hi, I am grateful for have a good health and friends and family are okay. And I think, and I pass it to Paulo.
I'm grateful for finally I managed to finish the first version of the hatch and everything is working now as supposed to. So yeah, I think I think nobody left, right?
Hi everybody, this is Craig. Yeah, I'm grateful for family holidays and for being here. Thank you.
Welcome, Craig. Okay, so we are everyone. How would you like to proceed? I have some topics in the agenda, but maybe we can do a common agenda. I can share the screen and we can go with that. Let's see. The topics in the agenda is updates, the division between tech and spec, that now it's params. We are going to be doing two, well, I explain that later. Voting on common stack and impact. Three. These are the points that I have for my part. Do you would like to add new things? I guess that inside updates we have what Paulo has been doing.
I would like to do a quick demo.
Okay. We have the hats. We have what Fabi has been doing. That it's the Tech UI. That maybe we cannot see it because it's not here, but that would be great to at least see if he could I cannot make the screen bigger, sorry guys. To see if he could publish the last changes and if we can integrate them in the interfaces or not. Maybe we just wait him and that's all. We also could check out Fiore's design because it's part of the hatch. I think that Paulo already have it, but we can check out together Fiore and the hatch. And what else? What do you think, guys? There is something else? Okay, also the vesting. Rayne. And something else?
Is there just an overall status of the test hatch launch?
Hello, Grave. I didn't see you.
I just came in. I was a little late from that last call.
Yeah, we have this update in here in the hatch. Paulo just recently finished the front end.
We can save it. We can save it till we keep going through agenda. Gathering agenda.
Okay.
Okay. What about smart contract end date?
Okay. Maybe we can add it.
Or like freeze or something. Yeah.
And something else? Okay, I guess that we can begin. And if you have something else at the end, we have this last section here.
Nice.
Okay, so we can begin with the hatch. I think that, Paulo, you want to share your screen, right?
Yes. 1 minute. Let me close tabs.
The thing is that we have it was a difficult task to have in 1 week. And Paulo, you did a great work on having it for today. I mean, it's so cool. And we still need the smart contract part of the hatch, which are a few changes in the pre-sale that we already have. That I hope I can have it for demoing on Thursday with what is already done, which is most. I think that the work is already done like 70% or something like that. Oops.
1 moment.
Okay.
Okay.
And the good thing is that we, during all this week, we can improve what Paulo has been doing. We adding the rest of the things that may be missing. For example, the video. We still don't have the video from the comms team, but we can put there a video from library, for example.
Okay, I'm ready. So I'm showing DAO hosted on Rinkeby because apparently you can connect to a XDAI DAO when you're deploying the front end on local, but shouldn't be any problem when we had already hosted the front end on a server. So I just create a testing DAO here. This will be the Aragon app, and this is the front end. So let's start with opening the hatch. So one problem that I just I have, but well, it's an Aragon Connect problem basically, they use Alchemy behind the scenes as a provider. So I just noticed that they run out of requests this month. Apparently, they have a paid service here. Oops, sorry. As you can see, when I try to create any transaction, it takes a bit because first it checks with this provider, and as you can see, they just exceed the monthly capacity. So what I'm trying to say basically is that the MetaMask windows will take like a couple of seconds to show up on the screen because it feels it will try to reach this provider.
Hopefully the problem is solved by tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask on the Discord how can I change the provider, because I don't like to have this kind of problem.
Meanwhile, we do the hatch during the first days of the month. We are okay.
So right now I'm sending a transaction to the marketplace DAO. I'm showing this screen too because right now, as the DAO is configured, you need to open and pass a voting to open the pre-sale. But for the hatch launch, the permissions are gonna be changed, so we don't need to vote to open the pre-sale. So okay. So we just open here.
Hello. I'm sorry I missed the last one.
Okay.
Yes.
So we'll take a bit to confirm the transaction.
I was working on mine, but I'm down to check out right now. Okay, thank you. I'll be at the front desk in about 5 minutes.
If you're not muted.
Transaction confirm. Okay, we already opened the hatch here, as you can see. So for this test hatch, we need to reach 1,000 DAI. So if I try to contribute, like for example with another account. Example this one. Okay.
How much dice do you have, Paulo?
Like 30,000.
30,000 only.
Yeah. Okay, so if we try to contribute here, like for example 100 dice, I just had this little spinner to let know the user that we need to approve a set of transactions before sending the contribute transaction. We need to approve the token allowance.
Oh, that's very good, man.
So it will take a bit because, as I mentioned earlier, first it tries to reach this provider and then uses the MetaMask provider.
And because it's using 2 transactions, right?
Yeah. This is the first one to approve the token.
Way or something?
What do you...
It's already indicated. 2 transactions required.
Yeah, I just had these little info box here.
Okay.
So
and the second one doesn't seems to fail, right? Because in the original code, it was giving an error in the MetaMask.
Yeah, when I was testing with multiple DAOs, I never had that error message when the window prompt But I decided to let the message here just in case if anyone finds that error.
Maybe
It shouldn't be a problem.
In mainnet it's different. We don't know.
Yeah. That's why I decided to left the message here, because I don't know how it's gonna react with other networks. But okay. We just confirmed the contribute transaction, so we let's wait for the transaction confirm.
I like a lot the vesting timeline, but I think that because of by the way, Griff, I muted you before because you were not muted. I unmute you. Griff, are you still here? Maybe he's not. Okay, just I wanted to say that the vesting.
Okay.
The vesting is very good, but maybe we have to remove it because the Hatch DAO is not going to have vested tokens, which is a pity because it looks very good.
Okay, no problem. We just need to remove these two steps. Two steps on the timeline. Okay, so.
But if we remove those two steps, then we are without timeline, right?
I don't
because
think
just to I don't know.
No, I don't think it will be a problem.
Maybe Fiora can help here.
Okay, so yeah, we need to redesign the header, for example, and add all the details on the Figma that you show me. But yeah, we can
see because in the Figma the vesting was still there, but then I realized that in the Hatch DAO we don't have vesting, so maybe it has not much sense. Just with the time remaining is enough.
So it will be just two dots, two faces, like hatch open, hatch end.
No. Actually, we can remove everything, all the panel, because we already have the time remaining in the hatch period. That indicates how much time do we have.
Oh, okay.
Which is important.
You don't know the date. Maybe it's interesting to have the date besides the counter.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we just contribute with 100 DAI, and we receive in this case, the test token. And I would like to show when the hatch is closed, but the minimum value that you can set the hatch period is 1 day, or in this case 14. But I can't reduce it more. So we will see that on the real hatch launch.
Okay. Testing on production.
I mean, tomorrow we rent another hatch that I just created. Someone has the.
Yeah, I am muting Griff.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, Griff.
What I was saying, that it is basically that tomorrow it's going to end one of the test hatch that I created, so I can test that too, the hatch ending. But for this demo, this will be all.
Okay, for the that's amazing. For the test on Thursday, we already are fine with that. If we want to improve some of the things, we can add, for example, 3box. We can change the things to add the video, add the text, these kind of things, but they are not completely necessary.
Yeah,
that will be an interesting thing to do, but we are fine with what we already have. And the important thing is to add the changes in the smart contract in order to the same that the last week limit the the contributions to CSTK token holders, impact hours at the end of the hatch, and the minimum and maximum.
Okay.
But it will be much easier now.
Yeah, I just have a couple of small details to finish. Like, for example, rename the subgraph. This is the XDI subgraph that the front end is connecting to.
Mhm.
So, as you mentioned a couple of days before, we need to rename this to hatch and all those things, and change all the pre-sale words on the code to hatch, and a couple of small details basically.
Is it rename or redeploy?
We need to redeploy it.
Okay.
The graph doesn't let you to remove subgraph when you already posted.
Okay, great. Okay. So and everything is updated in the repo, right?
I'm going to push the final changes when this meeting is over. But yeah, basically, everything's going to be on the repo in 1 hour or so.
Perfect. Okay, I guess that we can go with the other thing, that is Tech UI. Fabi is not here today, but maybe Paulo, you can share your screen. No, actually not.
Okay. No.
I can actually.
Okay.
Let's see if he could do something with if he could upload it or not. The commons. Yes, he could then. Okay, no worries. He was sharing super cool pictures the other day. With the colors and basically with the colors inside the Aragon UI, and it looks pretty well. It's a pity that we don't have it, but I hope that he's better soon and comes back. Looks amazing, man. If you are seeing this. Okay, we can go with the next, because actually I don't think that we can do anything with that for now. Sharing Fiora's design. I guess that we can share it in a little bit. It is Figma.
Do you want me to share my screen?
If you want, yes.
Sure.
I go ahead and share it.
Great. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Great. Well, I'm not sure which one is the one that we are going to use, because when we talk with you, David, we have a lot of options with video and short text and video and long text and all that. But well, here's the one.
They agreed on having the video and a long text, but you can show the different options.
Great. Well, in this case, we should add a menu. I think we need that because the info for the hatch is going to be too low if we have a lot of text. So here's the about with that information, and the video that I'm not sure yet what is going to be the content there, but I just put asset that Marco did to I added here. So, and then well, we have the hatch. well, maybe this is going to change based on what you said, David, because we are not going to have this. But here's the table with the top contributors, and I move this to the right. So we could have this in both pages in the same place.
Actually, because we are removing the we didn't we are not going to need the vesting thing. Maybe we can do the timeline panel much smaller or whatever. We can add everything in the same page if that's not so. Because you and me agreed that it's better to scroll than to click, right? That was one of the things that you said last time.
Yeah. Yes, but I think in this case, if the text is going to be too much, maybe the user is not going to scroll and he will miss this information. But I'm not sure. Maybe when we have the text, we can decide. Yeah. But yes, maybe since we are not going to have this, that is a good option. Yeah.
Maybe we can add the rest of the things in the sidebar. No?
Yeah.
We will see. We will see, but it's a possibility that we have.
Great. And well, that's it because the other options are not going to be.
The other option was the same, but without a video, right?
Yes, only with a banner. I will stop sharing now.
Okay, the next thing is Rayne with the vesting. Would you like to share your screen, Rayne? Do you have it prepared?
Yeah, I prepared it just in case. One sec.
Yeah. I am going to mute Griff. I don't know if he's in the meeting or not.
He's muted now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, hey, hi, Griff. I'm sorry.
I'm really sorry about that, guys. Yeah.
No worries.
All right, so I've been working on a lock tokens timeline, which pretty much shows the amount of lock tokens for all addresses over a long timeline, like an accumulation of all the lock tokens. So in this case, we only have two addresses, which both have one lock token. Interestingly, both have the same start date, so they both start here, meaning that they both have fully locked tokens. And we can see that once it reaches the cliff period, it gradually drops off until it reaches the end of the period. I can also show quickly an example when there are, for example, 100 addresses with locked tokens, and that would completely change the graph, as you can see. And what I would do basically is take the lock tokens that take the longest to complete as end date. So in this case, one of the addresses would have a end lock date of March 28, 2030. So it would take that as the end date and the start date as the start date being the address which starts the earliest with unlocking tokens. And that's pretty much it. Pretty self-explanatory, I hope.
We had the question that what is better, to show the locked tokens or the unlocked tokens? Because usually it is like this kind of graph is a vesting graph in which you see how the amount of tokens that are unlocked. But right now what we are showing is the locked tokens.
Right, so you start high and go low.
Yeah.
I think visually the other way around looks nicer, but maybe this way makes more sense because you start with a locked amount and you want to see how long it takes for it to be like unlocked, if that makes sense. But it wouldn't.
If you I was thinking you could give us a little bit of feedback on this one. Because the whole thing regarding lock tokens is comes from you.
Were you asking me? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Can you put the graph? Yeah, this graph. What do you think, Griff, about this graph?
I would agree with him, starting with locked and then talking about unlocked. I mean, in especially in the tokens. Well, I guess I see what you mean. I don't think it matters that much, honestly. I think either way, people will just be used to it. You could start with, yeah, I don't think it matters. Sorry, I don't have a strong opinion.
Okay.
I think both's fine
Does
too.
anyone else have a strong opinion?
I can't
If
speak
it's
for
not
each
that
person.
important, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, if it's not that important, maybe we can have something to switch it so the user can decide what to see.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we were thinking on.
Yeah.
I think that it's not as important as to have a switcher there. So yeah, but
No, maybe if the graph, the user can open the graph and see it bigger, and there.
Like it pops out if you click on it. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can have more months, more info about the dates too.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure.
I will not put more work on this specific thing.
I agree. Sounds like a stretch goal.
Yeah. I think that as it is right now, it's enough information.
It's just nice to have. Okay.
And also you have Fiora, you already have the details in each of the addresses.
What, sorry?
So it's because you already have also more information if you want.
Yeah.
So
On
it's the aggregation. But I will not I will not add more. The idea of this project was to have the vesting thing, and then we realized that we already have it. And what we wanted was an accumulated graph to show people what it looks like, but not. We don't want to go into more detail. And I think that it's fine as it is. I think that it's okay.
Is there a plan on the vesting to be smoothed out, or are we pretty well set on the situation where there's a big drop at one point at the cliff?
Well, that depends on the parameters. If you want a cliff of 0, then there is not that drop.
Oh, but what about if the cliff is 6 months and then on the end of the 6 months there's not a big drop? It's just like one token gets released, kind of a thing. I'm talking about that the actual, like there's the flat and then there's another like vertical.
Yeah.
Without the cliff, you say
with the flat horizontal, but without the vertical.
Okay. Yeah, that we should re-implement the smart contract for that, because the only thing, well, or we can make the tokens transferable, and when we make them transferable, because when they are untransferable, we are in that horizontal line, right?
Well, it's not but it shouldn't be about non-transferable as much as it should be about depositable into the bonding curve.
Yeah, you're right.
Because the tokens that people buy from the bonding curve should be non-transferable, but then they should still be able to send them to the bonding curve.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe we can work with two vestings. A vesting that does the horizontal line, and then another vesting that has no cliff.
Mm-hmm.
Because changing the smart contract, we could do that, but it's better if we have always the same code base.
Oh yeah, that's really nice. So you basically have vesting on top of vesting, vesting within vesting, nested vesting.
Kind of, yes.
Yeah,
You have
I mean that's an easy solution for sure.
And there is one block in which you can spend all your you can transfer all your tokens.
No. No.
Oh, it was a book. We didn't realize.
Oh no. Oh no. No, hopefully they'll be nested within each other, so there'd be like two vestings blocking it at any time, and then the cliff vesting. But
okay, we can check out. Yeah, we can check out that. Okay, and because that will be preferable, right? Instead of having that thing.
yeah, that big drop means that everyone fears that day, you know, like at the end of the cliff, everyone's like, oh no, at the end of the cliff, everyone's going to sell, you know, and even if it's not true, people will believe it, and that will hurt the system.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So we can continue. That's something to look for sure. The next topic to talk about is about having two meetings. One is this one, in which we talk about the technical developments that we are doing. And it follows this format. I mean, we discuss about the things that we have done, and we coordinate for the things that we are going to do. And there is this other meeting that since now it was more like the same than this meeting. It was inside this meeting in some way, but mostly in the forums. I think that the technical params deserve their own meeting, and talk with Jake, and we are going to be coordinating a new meeting on Fridays to talk about tech parameters, starting with the hatch parameters, then the bonding curve parameters, and finally the conviction voting. I think that we discuss hatch parameters and dandelion voting parameters together in the first meeting, and the idea is that this should have a lot of the people in the community in those meetings, and they are not going to be too much of them. They are only going to be 3, and the idea is to discuss instead of doing it asynchronously, have it asynchronously as we are doing right now, but also synchronously. So it's much easier for everyone to understand what each parameter means and which are the implications and all that stuff. This Friday, we begin with the first meeting, and it's responsibility from the tech team to make it very clear for the people, because we are the people who are developing the technology. So it's very important from our side to prepare to make it the best, the most clear thing for the rest of the people. And Griff and a lot of people have already been working on the deep dives, especially for the hatch. So we are pretty well done for this week. Maybe we need a deep dive of dandelion voting that we should be working during this week. I know that Jake was already looking for someone to write it. If we cannot find somebody, we can write it all together.
I'm definitely hoping to try to write some of it, or at least follow the format that is there. One of the things with dandelion voting is I'm not sure how many parameters there are. It seems like there's a lot, right?
No, they are only 5.
There's only 5
But-
dandelion parameters?
But yeah, they are only 5, and they are very easy to understanding. Dandelion is dandelion. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought
Understanding
dandelion had a lot of choices when you go to make a dandelion DAO. You have to make a lot of choices.
Yeah, I'm talking about dandelion. No. I'm talking about dandelion voting.
Oh, just the voting. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, because the rest are things that are pretty much resolved. I mean, when you do a dandelion DAO, you set up the time lock, you set up the redemptions thing, you set up a lot of things that we already have in some way set up, because we are only going to redeem TEC, or in that case, DAI.
Mhm.
So it's a parameter that we don't have to discuss. The parameters that we have to discuss are the hatch parameters and the dandelion parameters. At least for the first hatch DAO, those parameters.
Okay, cool.
The tollgate fee maybe, but it's not that important.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Cool.
So
Sounds
basically,
good.
the deep dive that we need for this week before Friday is the 5 parameters of dandelion voting. And they are pretty easy. I mean, the 3 first parameters are the normal parameters of a voting, and the other 2, they are a little bit more difficult to understand because you need to understand how dandelion works, and I didn't know exactly. I don't think I exactly know how it works yet, but it's pretty fun to discover. Yeah, it's about the times in which you can you have to wait from one voting to another, something like that.
There is also one
People
hatch.
to-
There is also one hatch parameter that hasn't been really well set, which is the open price and the hatch price. That I don't believe that
I
has
like
been set.
to discuss it in the subsequent week when we talk about bonding curve, because it has much more to do with the bonding curve than with the hatch, right?
Okay, so you want to float the opening and closing price, opening and the opening price and the hatch price to the bonding curve conversation. I think it's fine.
And also in the bonding curve conversation, we can talk about the parameters of the token, because they are pretty related. If we want a max supply of, I don't know how much tokens, if we want a low supply or a high supply, these kind of things, it goes all together with the bonding curves.
Okay, sounds good.
So this Friday, I think that Jake has already been talking with people about doing it on 5 p.m. CET, which is just 1 hour, just the next meeting of legal. It will be legal working group and then tech params working group. And it will be very nice to have a lot of people there, because we are not going to decide in this meeting which are going to be the parameters, but we are going to be from the meeting, the final specification that is going to be voted is going to be there. Maybe in the meeting, if there are people who says, no, I would like that other thing, then we can have 2 specifications, and people will be able to vote them. But it's going to be very important. These three meetings are going to be very important in order to define which are going to be the documents that we vote. So very important for people to come.
So then, there is a TEC lab, I think, but hosted by Sean YGG. That's at that time after the Legal Weekly Sync.
Oh,
Last week
but
he
it's
did.
not after the weekly sync. Is it the same thing?
It's after the Legal Weekly Sync. So I mean, just we need before we pick that 11 o'clock time. Sorry, 11 o'clock for me. Let's make sure Sean's not doing that. I think he is though, so we might want to do it at noon, East Coast time.
Yeah, in the calendar it says it's at that time. 5 p.m.
Let's change the time then. Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't know that he. The last time I checked, it wasn't in my calendar.
Yeah, I guess this is the thing. We gotta just reserve it and then ask questions later.
we can do it at 3, I think, because it was also okay for Jake.
Okay, before the legal sync.
Yes, before.
That works for me.
It's a little bit soon for USA time or Latin America time, but we have a convoluted calendar.
We'll record the call.
Okay, next thing, smart contracts. We are much better than before. I checked out that Will did a very good job on tests, and he migrated the conviction voting to Builder. Conviction voting is very well. The only thing is that it's on a disputable version with Aragon 5. And maybe we want to strip out the disputable things compatible with. I'm not sure if disputable and non-disputable applications are compatible altogether or not. I talked with the people at OneHive, and they are very excited to have conviction voting reviewed in some way, even if it's not an audit, but to have a professional auditor checking the code. And they would like to have the real thing, right? I mean, disputable conviction voting. But we are not prepared to integrate Celeste. Even Celeste is going to be available during the hatch. But it's better not to do all the changes in just one time. And we already will have a clear way to migrate to disputable conviction voting and agreements and all of that after the second phase of the hatch. Because the same way that we can vote to migrate to a new DAO, we can vote again to migrate to a new other. So we can do the migration to Celeste in 2 steps if it's desirable by the people in the DAO, which I think it will be, because having Celeste is much better for many things. We probably won't have the need of multi-sigs anymore, like that. Because right now what we have, and one of the things that are important is that, also for legal, is that we have to decide what parts we want to still have the control. Because for example, in conviction voting in OneHive, we had some problems, and thanks that we have the control of the parameters of conviction voting, we could stop the vault going to. We almost have a very big problem with with the bolt, but we could stop it by changing the parameters. And that's a very interesting thing, because in some way, not having the control of the DAO protects us, and also it is more fair. And at the same time, if there is a bug, we need a way to pause the system. But it's just, what I was thinking is to have a kind of multi-sig for bug bounty, in which they can pause the system, but the Dandelion voting has the last word, because the multisig can only pause the system until Dandelion voting passes. And the Dandelion voting can erase the capacity of pausing the system from the multisig and assign it to a new one. So the community has the power. But before the community decides what to do, it can happen, it can pass 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks, we can have a very big problem with the funds if there is a kind of bug. So maybe it's a good way to set up a kind of multisig that can froze the DAO in some way. It's already done in the code of conviction voting, but maybe we can go directly to the vault itself to froze everything if we have to. Because I guess that it's the most important thing to protect. It's like the bank. It's like you want to protect the vault with all the systems that you have. Yeah, that's something that we have to do. I wanted to know your opinion on that. Maybe Griff, you have some thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think it's fine. Everything is fine if we have the Dandelion DAO vote on it, right? So they have to agree to it. So this sounds like a parameter of conviction voting or something that needs to be also debated and discussed, which is like, you know, which I'm always into, some sort of escape hatch parameter, you know, situation, or a freeze, a pause authority. And as long as the Dandelion DAO votes on it, then it's a service provider and not a real problem for legal, in my opinion.
And maybe Tonga also, because we were discussing about the problem with the Aragon bonding curve that was paused, and we probably have to do a similar mechanism for our bonding curve in some way, and that can be complicated, because I mean it had a lot of, the Aragon bonding curve had a lot of polemic because it was paused. In my opinion, it was a necessary thing if the discussion regarding merging INT
I don't think that's the same discussion, though. That's like more of an upgrade discussion. And I think it's a discussion that's worth having, as in we need to figure out, hey, what happens if we want to change parameters of the bonding curve, or does that require a freeze? And we should have discussions around it. But I don't want to conflate that. I feel like they're two different discussions. There's the emergency pause for smart contract security issues, and then there's the like, oh, hey, we want to change directions of the DAO. How do we pause the bonding curve if we do that? Because I feel like that's the problem that happened with Aragon, is they didn't actually get stakeholder feedback on, decisions that would affect certain people. Whereas, hey, everyone's down for a smart contract stop. if there's a bug. No one's going to be like, what? And freak out. Like, what? Why didn't you let them steal the money? Like no one cries about that. They do cry when, you start changing the economics of the system without getting stakeholder feedback.
Yeah.
So I'd say these are two issues.
Yeah. The thing is that allowing to pause the system to a multi-sig also have that second effect, that secondary effect. If you have the control of the system, then it's more easy to think, oh, maybe we have to pause it before starting the discussion or something like that. I don't know. Maybe
there is a trust level here. The people that are entrusted with this certain power that we say, hey, for smart contract security issues, there's a 1 of 6 multi-sig or something, and any one of these people can pause it right away if there's an issue. That's one thing. And then there's another thing with a different permissions. That's like, what happens if we want to upgrade the smart contracts and change the economics? And it should be different permissions. And yes, it's possible, but we're a community based on trust. And it's different than a Bitcoin thing,
Yeah. By the way, I think that it's desirable to have a system to pause the DAO in case that there is some problem. But it's not. I mean, the important thing is that Dandelion can unpause it and don't let the people who pause it stay there if they are if they work against the DAO. I mean, Dandelion voting has a veto that can come weeks later, but will be able to come.
So I hate we're coming across our 2 minutes, or 2 minutes till the end of this call.
Oh yeah, we are pretty late.
I'm really curious to hear about smart contract freeze.
Yeah.
And then sadly I have to run.
Okay. The smart contracts are not ready yet. The thing is that the thing what I was saying is that conviction voting is much more advanced. So it's very easy to grab everything that we have. Finish the hatch smart contract, and we can go with what we have. That's the idea. The other thing is that, do we need all the smart contracts frozen at the same time, or because it is going to be easier for you to say, hey, here are the smart contracts, they are frozen, it's time to audit? Or it will be not that bad to have different batches of smart contracts that has been frozen? For example, to begin with the hatch smart contracts and then keep working on conviction voting and bonding curve until the end of the hatch. I mean, I am requesting more time, but if we don't have that time, it's fine to have the smart contracts frozen this week.
I think we have that time. It's just that figuring out, the top priorities and trying to get it frozen as soon as we can is good. I think we have that time. But having a target date of December 10th or something would be really cool, just so that we can prioritize smart contract work.
Okay. And what do you think about having this difference between the first smart contracts that are going to be in the hatch and the second ones? Because the thing is that it will be super cool to be able to keep working on smart contracts.
Yeah, that's okay. This hatch is the first draft, and I mean we can't expect. The whole point of having this prototype is to understand the changes that need to be there. So I guess it's more about the staggered freeze, the freeze for the hatch, and the dandelion DAO contracts needs to happen first, and then the freeze for the ABC and the CV should happen basically after we make changes from what we know from this hatch experiment from this next prototype. At least that's how I see it.
We demo the hatch this Thursday 3, and 1 week later we will be able to have the smart contracts for the hatch are quite simple, and they are going to be ready on 3rd. And in 1 week we can still do the last changes if we need to, and on 10th they are going to be frozen, but not the conviction voting and bonding curve. The thing that are going to be frozen are the reviews pre-sale, which now is called hatch, the redemptions, the dandelion voting, and the token manager. Those are the ones. Also, probably we want to modify the vault to add a new function.
The vault?
Yeah, I know. In order to make the migration, the easiest way is to add a new function in the vault that is called transfer all. I mean, that's the safest and easier way to do that. But the vault is something that is audited and it has a lot of trust, and maybe it's problematic to change the vault, and we can find workaround. But
I would really like to get a workaround to that, man. That's pretty crazy. You don't want to touch the vault.
I have discussed it with the rest of the people in One Hive, and we don't know what to do, because doing a little change in the vault would save us a lot of time. But the other way around is to use the agent and don't use XDAI. Use something else. Use an ERC20 token. Basically, that's the thing. I think that you have to go.
Sam, I would like to talk about the market maker for a sec before we go.
That will be great.
Great. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I hate to leave you hanging, but thank you guys for your work, and I'm really excited to be back and dive into the parameters. So Jake and I will be pinging you, I'm sure. And Jake, we'll be talking in 2 hours, right?
Jake? Well, Jake is not here.
Oh, Jake's not here? Okay, perfect. Okay, talk to you guys later. Bye.
See you.
See ya.
Okay. We still have some points in the agenda, and we are quite late. I don't know if how do you want to proceed, guys? Tonga would like to talk the market maker,
but it's pretty short. It's like 2 minutes. I just wanted to ask if when should it be done, because I'm working on it, but at the beginning I proposed to work on this mostly to learn, but now I feel like a bit responsible for making it, and I'm really having a lot of trouble to make it. So because it's a whole new topic for me, so I would like to know the times, and maybe if you can be aware that it's not likely that I'm going to be able to do it fast or soon. Like I'm trying, but I don't think it is easy, or maybe I'm having trouble. But that's why I wanted to let you know that probably I can't do it in less than 2 weeks, or like.
Okay,
And
that is enough. We don't need it in 2 weeks or so. I mean, or 3 weeks, or even 4 weeks. I don't know. The thing is that that's the good thing of all of that. That the focus that we have right now, the more urgent things, are the hatch part, and that gives us a lot of time to work on the other parts of the things, which are conviction voting and the bonding curve. That means that you if you want to work without stress, the best thing is to work on conviction voting and the market maker.
okay.
So you are fine with that, and you also will have help. I know that the task that you have is quite difficult, and I guess that with the work that Paulo has been doing, you will have a very good guide, because the pre-sale was the easy thing, because it's just aggregating numbers, and the market maker is kind of similar but a little bit more complicated. If you are stuck with that, and that also applies to any work that you guys do, if you get stuck, ask for help. And if that's a thing that has to be done quick, probably it's we will have to change the hands on who is doing, because we will need that sooner. But it is preferable if you want to take something on the long term. For example, you Tonga want to learn Aragon Connect on the long term, and this is a very good project to start with. And I guess that we can help. I'm not familiar with Aragon Connect, but probably taking a look on Paulo's work, we can figure out how to continue.
Yeah.
And there is
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just like we talked the past weeks, we can do it together and have like some meetings through the week, some small meetings through the week to discuss doubts or any problems that you might have. The idea was to make the market maker together, right? Or at least if I could help you, maybe you can take like the main lead, and I could help you with any kind of problems that you might encounter.
I think like you are the one that should be at the lead, and I think one good idea could be that do you know the morphosis swan on one height that is about teaching other people? I think maybe I could be the student, like, and we record it and make videos for like educational videos while doing it, and I can ask questions are like the most beginner questions, so the people that watch the video like get some questions too. But that's an idea, up to you, because I'm really every day I look at the video, take notes, but at least for now, I feel like completely stuck, like can't do any progress. So maybe it's a lot of information, or maybe I'm thinking of other things, but yeah, I've been very worried about this.
Start with little. Tonga.
Yeah, that video. I mean, I'm trying to sum up all the toolkit and on 2 hours, and that's kind of madness. I mean, I think we could do that. Like have a couple of meetings through the week. Let you have some time to so you can work alone on the based on the things that you learned or we discussed on the meetings, but do it step by step.
Yeah.
So we can start with the market maker. I think it's like a good project to start learning about Aragon Connect, and we can do it that way if you want. Later we can discuss the number of meetings or the time, but if you want, we can do it that way.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Okay, guys. I think that it's already a little bit late. There were other topics, but maybe we can discuss them next week. It was just Whaler DAO is going to be using conviction voting, and that's a very good thing. And I am working on making that possible in the way that they can wrap the 3 token inside a token wrapper application, and so they can vote on conviction voting. And also Commons Stack, if you go to cb.commonsstack.org, there is a conviction voting to signal which grants should receive more funding in the ecosystem of Commons Stack and friends. And yeah, they are more like announcements, actually. I wanted to show you, but I think that it's quite late. And we can keep working during the week. We still have a lot of work to do until Thursday, and we meet again on Friday on the tech params, and on Monday again. So I think that we can let it here, and we keep